have time to ask all these questions. Okay, they just were like, he telling us to burn everybody. That's a little bit much. Okay, but that's where we get the, that, and among many things in the South, we get the king of the ashes. Prime example, in the South during the Civil War, as the Union soldiers are going down further south, and as they're losing in some places, because they lost some battles, they started burning up the crops. So let's not get it twisted. The South is so full and bountiful of land, food, crops. It was making them an economic powerhouse unrivaled, right? And so the Union is burning crops, burning things as they go or as they lose. And so it did come back to hurt Union soldiers as well, because they were starving at some point in some parts of the war. But it was one of these things that they've done before, right? They tried to cripple the Native Americans by doing what? Killing all the buffalo they could get their hands on, right? Killing every deer they could come across. Why? Because they were taking away the food source of people. We are the country of king of the ashes. We are the country that installs the burn it all. I'll burn it all. If I can't have it, no one can, and I don't care. Now, why am I bringing this up? This is something I've noticed for the past 3 years, and I've noticed for the past, maybe like, I would say even like coming out of high school, college, and I worked in customer service, folks would be like crazy, right? For something that they don't even need. It's not like milk, cereal, toilet tissue. I'm talking about for random items, athletic stores, stuff that is like a leisure activity stuff. And they would be so irate, right? That's where we get the Karens from and all that good stuff. Now, I'm gonna go a little dark, and I have to, just to kind of explain my point. Domestic violence victims, right? When you have someone holding someone hostage, I started watching this thing where it was talking about negotiations, and what they realize by the time they get there and they're in negotiation for this person to release people, they realize this person is a burn it all person. They will kill the children and the mother. They will burn it all down, then to let that person go free. So the police have to start, well, the negotiators have to negotiate it from a place of, hey, for you, this won't be that bad. Hey, man, I completely understand. She just did too much. Yeah, man, we got to get you in and out the courts. We got to let you have your day. We got to let you have your say. We got to let you speak your piece. We got to let you do this. So negotiators know they can't even negotiate with them. Same thing with terrorists. They know they can't even negotiate with them other than, hey, let me let you talk. Let me let you express yourself. Let me let you be heard. If not, you'll burn it all. Okay? And that's a very real thing. So then, again, there's this, I can't remember exactly the African proverb. It was written down and I'm mad I forgot it. But essentially, like, never trust somebody who will burn the house down with them in it. This is a real thing. Like, never trust a person who, hey, I'll wreck this car with you in it because I'm so mad at you, right? There was a video of a woman who was clearly having a mental health episode at the airport where her children are screaming, like the son's just numb to it. The daughter's crying and saying, please, no, mother, please, no. And this woman is going into fits of rage to the point that she's not even cognitively, like, she looks at her child, but she's not even willing to listen to her child. She's picking up items to destroy and assault the people at the airport because she's on the no-fly list, right? And so what I try to tell people is you cannot ration. You cannot ration with those people. Right? You cannot. Their mindset is I am, and there's a thing in the Bible, I'm going to clarify because somebody's going to come later and be like, well, Erica, in the Bible, there's righteous anger. Yes, there is a thing in the Bible about righteous anger. Yes, the Lord did flip tables, but people will label anything as righteous anger. Well, I have a right to be angry about this, and whatever I do in the fits of anger is justified. Nah, man, that's not the truth, right? I'll even go a little further. I saw O'Shea Jackson show a video of this woman, and I'm gonna just go there. I'm gonna just go there. The woman is unfortunate looking. It's hard in life when you're not a good looking woman. It's a hard life. This woman looked like a combination of crack, unfortunate face, and just look homeless, disheveled, not attractive. And so she was doing this live and saying, yeah, I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it. And I was like, okay, what's she gonna tell? And I didn't really want to watch it because she looked a little crazy. And of course, she's like, I slept with my best friend's, baby daddy all over this house and in her bed and doing all this crazy stuff, right? So immediately I'm like, oh God, turn that off. That's terrible. But of course, the woman comes and assaults her in the video. That's the crazy part. But I said, that's the kind of people you want to stay away from. That they're so miserable. They're so, I'll burn everything. Since I can't have it, nobody can have it. Right? She can't just be happy for her friend that has this relationship and go about her day and go find her own man. She's going to destroy this. And the sad part is there were a lot of men online going, yeah, you know, there's more women than men. No, no, stop. This is the most unfortunate people I've ever heard of in my life. They're sick. And this is why I say a lot of this talk is internet talk, because I've talked to some of these people as clients off internet. And I go, you know, hey, man, it's real crazy. They're like, oh, people are just saying anything. It's just barbershop talk. No, it's not. We have young men and women who are watching these people videos and they're in their 20s talking about divorce and they're 22 years old. Like, yeah, man, I don't want to get divorced and child support because, you know, I'm not going to let no woman take it all from me. You're like, you don't even have your life. You live in your mom's house in a room. You don't even have anything for anybody to take. This shit is getting real bad and delusional out here. Now I had to write notes so I don't get too far off track. There was even a man who was saying that he was abandoning this woman because she cheated on him and he don't even care about the kid. He'll just pay her and go on by his life. And I go, this is why we have a society of people, and this is just, people say, Erica, this is the manosphere, but this is everywhere. This is on Instagram. This is on Twitter. This is a lot of people in real life stuff, right? It is a real life. Okay. Real life. Thank you so much, Terrence, for the donation. And where they go, I will, because I'm jealous or I'm mad, I will hurt everybody and everything, and I will destroy everything in the path. I don't care. I don't care who's in the path. I'm gonna destroy it. Right. So this really is happening in our everyday society, right? Like, people were mad at Trump because he was a bull in a china shop. But that's the American people. The American people are very much the bull in the china shop. We see something, we have no kind of no class, we have no courtesy, we don't know how to act, we are over the top, we're gonna destroy somebody, and it don't make no sense. It's like, where does that come from, right? Because really what we want to see out of people is we want to see people make amends, be humble, and all that good stuff. But there's something I've noticed a trend on, YouTube too, as well, as a lot of people going, well, I feel I'm smarter, I feel I'm better, I feel I'm whatever. And I go, come on, man. Like, you can't feel you're better if you don't have real life results that show you're better. Well, Erica, that's just you. You don't know what you're talking about. When it came to these trucks, again, a lot of people are trying to tell somebody who spent $1 million plus in the trucking industry how they should do trucking, and they're not even a damn driver. Sometimes they are a driver, right? And it's this real crazy conversation where this person has alluded that we're on the same level, and we're not. I mean, I'm just gonna say it like unless you are on the same level as this person doing the same thing in the same industry, you're not the same. You're not the same. And this stuff is getting out of hand, right? It's getting really kind of crazy that, well, if I were them, I would do this. But you're not them. You're not them. You're not even in close enough to be them, right? And so I've always learned, and this is something that people always tell me, that when you stop learning, or when you feel like you can't learn from somebody else because they're not as great as you, that's when you got to watch out. That's when you got to watch out. When you start really getting a hold, like what we call in the South, smelling yourself, that's when the problems comes. Prime example, if you ever, there's a quote from accountants. It's like this guy made a joke, but he said it's most accountants know it. If your client gets to a point where they divorce their first wife, buy a boat or a plane, they're about to have financial hardship. Now, y'all gonna be like, what that gotta do anything? What it means is if this person goes so far out of the norm of their everyday daily life patterns, the accountants know that they need to be on alert because this person is spiraling out of control. Okay? Keyword there, spiraling out of control by multiple choices. Right? So there you go. This is the prime part. Perfect. I don't even know if it'll let me click it. My app said the internet has made people think they're equivalent when they are not. You both have an account, but you travel in different effort numbers, spheres, and classes. And this is why when I was telling somebody I dated a judge, and I took his picture off my Facebook because somebody messaged him. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are crazy. And this is a picture, y'all, from at least 4 years ago on my Facebook. And so I had to delete the picture because they had messaged this man. This man is a judge in Texas. And y'all messaged this man. Of course, he goes, yes, me and Erica used to, be dating, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it was a grown man, another grown man who messaged him. And so you get these people that, hey, I see you. So I think we're the same. And I should have access to your every bit of your life. How dare you do anything in life that I don't know about or I don't have access to? This is insane thinking, y'all. This is insane thinking, right? And this is part of why I want to segue off of YouTube, because you literally have some people going weird, right? Because maybe this man couldn't imagine me dating a judge because whatever, maybe they've been told on the internet that you have to be a model to date particular type of people. And I'm like, no, it's called proximity in real life. Proximity in real life. Like this is internet. And I will agree quickly with Rashad them that like we don't do certain things because they have real consequences in real life. A lot of y'all are playing on this man's internet talking wow. And I remember there was a woman, they had to delete her off Twitter. I don't know if she worked for the FBI, CIA. I don't know who she is. But when people would talk crazy on Twitter, threatening people, saying death threats, she would put their address out there. She put their real name and their address because she would get their IP address or whatever. And it was so crazy. Like she was doing like hundreds of people a day that they had to keep kicking her off Twitter, and she kept coming back on Twitter, right, with different names. But it was like people be like, no, please take my address down. I have a wife, I have kids, I have I have this and that, and please, my wife is pregnant. You putting this out here is dangerous for my family, right? And so people got scared. A lot of people just straight deleted their Twitters, blocked themselves, but a lot of them were begging her to take it down because they had families or their job, and that's where you get a lot of this stuff where people want to apologize in the news after they've been caught being racist or being crazy because they have a burn it all experience. Like, I'm gonna act a monkey fool, and what can you do about it? Well, then when you find out their job, you put their license plate on the internet because you started noticing some of the people getting smart and blocking their license plate. Right? These black men flew into an airport in Florida, and they were like, okay, where do these black men come from? They must have drugs on them. And they were like, no, you're not going to search our plane. You're not going to do anything. Here's our pilot licenses. Here's our right to fly here. What's your problem? Well, of course, when the man is filming, he turns the camera around and the other white man blocks his license plate because they know the game now, that if I find your license plate, I can do what? Find you. And I've been telling people this, you see these people losing their jobs, losing their careers because they're doing crazy stuff. And that's why I was jokingly telling people like, hey, you might have to start a business because your husband do something crazy while he out at work, right? Or your cousin does something crazy, or something happens, right? The part people don't understand is, yeah, you actually learn by doing. That's the problem. Like people, and I remember somebody bought a lot of my courses, and I ended up talking to them in a consult, and they just wanted to know. Not that they wanted to do any of the things, they just wanted to be nosy enough to understand, okay, now I know how this works. Don't want to start a business, don't want to do any of those things. They just wanted to know. It's a nosy factor. And I think Nehemiah Davis said on his channel that 7% of people finish courses. So they sell all this stuff, and the secret, they're giving away every secret possible, but because the people don't read and people don't finish projects and people don't finish courses, they keep winning because people refuse to implement what is being taught, right? So again, whenever you're getting so deep into ego and arrogance that you think you know everything, that's dangerous, baby. That's a dangerous place. But I really want y'all to understand, when I watched that documentary on them negotiators, I was like absolutely sad. right? I was absolutely sad that they know they can't appeal to that person in logic. They know they can't even appeal to that person's empathy for another person. They know they will kill everybody at a location. They have to literally appeal to that person based on the fact that, hey, it's not going to be that bad. We're not going to give you that much time if you just come out here and talk to us. If you just release the kids, maybe you'll only do a year or two. Or they literally have to lie to them in such a dramatic fashion because they can't appeal to their humanity, right? So that really like blew my mind, right? Blew my mind. Now, perfect leadership was something I wrote down here. Yes, perfect leadership. Now I remember I was somewhere and somebody was talking about Martin Luther King. You know, he was cheating on his wife. So I don't even know why we listen to him. This is insane, y'all. Like, many of y'all got grandpas and grandmas that cheated on their spouse, but you still listening to your grandparents, right? We got a lot of people who've made adult mistakes, and we are willing. And I'm gonna go there, Wakanda on y'all, right? In the storyline, the father made a mistake. And in making a mistake, instead of going, damn, I ain't mean to kill that boy. Let me get this boy and take him back to Wakanda with me. Now I'm gonna leave him here just so I can cover my tracks. The boy grows up to be so angry that he's willing to destroy everything. He's willing to burn every purple plant, right? He's willing to destroy everybody and everything. And instead of, in my mind, they should have updated the movie. Wakanda in real life should have took money and gave it to black people all over the world. They're like, let's take guns. So what he was going to do is, if I can't have access to it, I'll just shoot it up so you can't have it either. Right? Like I watched a video on Atlanta Scoop where people were renting an Airbnb house and they were throwing water at each other, pots of water guns, just this crazy thing, having this whole water fight inside someone's house. And I was like, that is someone who's never been anywhere and never done anything. That they are like, let's do the most destructive thing to this whole property. Right? Your grandpa had 3 families. Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm not trying to be funny, but we have some family members that look really similar, and they're supposed to be distant cousins, and people have already joked that like somebody slept with somebody, right? It's really weird. Today we throw the baby out with the bathwater and learn nothing in the process. Yeah. So the theory where that comes from is people used to get in baths. The man would get in the bath, then the woman would get in the bath, then the kids, and then the baby last. It's probably why babies didn't last long back in them days, because they was putting them in them dirty butt water. And they would make a joke, the water would be so dirty, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because the water was so filthy by then. And that's where it goes. That conversation comes from. Oh, the Victoria's Secret? Yeah. The Victoria's Secret Karen, she's a school teacher aide, and she's doing this most outrageous thing, attacking someone and flopping all over the place, looking crazy. No one in the store says anything to her. Even the police officer comes and refuses to do his job. I said, if that was a black lady running around the store, she'd be arrested. There you go. The child that is not embraced by the village will burn it down to fill its warmth. And this is true. People let FOMO, fear of missing out, have them all up in these internet streets doing very reckless, dangerous things. Like, you're going to hang out with me, and if you don't hang out with me and acknowledge me, I'm going to act out. Like, I'm going to just go ahead and say this. There was a mastermind that was had in Austin, and I live in Austin, right? And I felt some type of way that they didn't reach out to me, that I was in Austin. And I remember telling the person I was dating this, and he looked over and he laughed. He said, girl, they ain't thinking about you, right? Like, I had to literally check myself and go, you're so right. They weren't thinking about me. It was a little men's mastermind meetup. It wasn't for women. There was no women. There was just men, and they were meeting up in Austin, and they just picked a house. Austin's a very central location. And what happens is somebody will see something and be in their feelings, and you have to check your feelings. You have to check that ego, because that's some crazy stuff, right? And so you feel some type of way because you were not included. That's crazy. You know what I mean? I'm doing this video because I find that we are letting people go, I will burn this house down with me in it just to hurt you. And that's crazy, right? And so as we're on this journey, as people are learning And that's what this whole mission to start the channel was, to expose people to ways that they can, I mean, I was one of those people that was working a job. I hated it. I was working all these hours, and everybody I worked around was like, girl, you too smart to be here. Why you don't have no office job, right? I was working these jobs where people would say stuff like that to me all the time, making it very clear they didn't want to be around me. They didn't know why I was here, right? No one should have to get up every day with so much anxiety because they have to go work at places they hate. So I built this channel to expose people to other opportunities, because I grew up in the suburbs. And a lot of these people you see on this internet talking rough and tough and tumble, they live in the suburbs too. They went to private schools their whole damn childhood, but yet they want you to think they're some type of thug. It's embarrassing. It was literally embarrassing. It doesn't make any sense. Only in the Black community do we pretend to be hood. For who? That doesn't even make sense. Like, I was somewhere in Atlanta and everybody was dancing to this song, and I was just like, and they were laughing at me because I was dancing like, this isn't my vibe. This ain't my thing. I'm not hood. I don't ever pretend to be. I'm just hanging out here with y'all because y'all here. I would be at a golf course. I'd be at a country music concert, right? Okay. So what I see happening in our economy is September, maybe October. I mean, it depends. I think it's around the fourth quarter, but September, October to March is going to be rough. Yeah, Ice Cube is from the suburbs, right? It's from the suburbs. And so you have these people who, for September through March, are really going to go through it. They're really going to go through it because they think, and this is where people get it wrong, I'm just as good as you. I'm just as smart as you. Even though they haven't put any hours, they ain't put any money, they ain't put any time, they haven't contributed anything to make their situation different, right? It's people are really confronted, and I'm gonna be careful with this, that there's levels to this society. There's levels to business. There's levels to class. Right? So when that girl was in that car looking homeless and rough and unfortunate and talking about how she's sleeping with somebody, that's something you should be ashamed of. But because that level community is a bull in a china shop, they don't even think they think it's funny. Right? I've seen women do stuff to kids and smacking them and yelling at them and cussing at them. And they should be pulled aside by people in their family like, hey, that's not something you put on the internet, baby. That's embarrassing. What are you doing? Have some respect for yourself. Prime example, I'm going to go there and people may be mad at me. The bodysuits. No, you're not a ballerina. You're not a wrestler. Why are you wearing a bodysuit in public like you're going to a wrestling match? This is insane. Like, even the summer dresses, when y'all ain't got no drawers on, is a bit much. I can see your cheeks, girl. That's too much. Right? And even then, you can have a conversation with a young lady in a summer dress. But when I see a woman in a wrestling suit at the airport, come on, baby, what's going on? Like, you too old for that. You way too old for that. And to not know better. And see, listen, let me just say this. Because I have a lot of boy cousins, and people think, oh, man, Erica, you know, listen, I got a lot of boy cousins. And one of my cousins married a lady. He was dating two different girls at one time. I'm not gonna clean it up. That's what he was doing. He was dating two different girls at one time. One girl was tomboyish. She didn't ever wear makeup. She never painted her hands, nails. She never wore lipstick. She never, she just never. Listen, Charm City buyers, you can't be wearing no body wrestling suits in the airport, looking like, come on, man, come on now. She playing with me. Why she playing with me? I just gotta say it. You can't be wearing wrestling suits everywhere. Now, y'all messing it up. Y'all done messed up my train of thought. I done started laughing now. But what happens is, like, you can't even address people in a respectful way because they are so hell bent on, like, I'll burn this whole house down. I dare you to say something to me because I'll flip a table over if you say something respectful to me. And you're like, sis, I'm just trying to help you. Like, hey, come on, baby, don't do that, right? I'm not trying to be Monique at the airport would take your bonnet off, but to some degree, we out here in a society where we can't even, like, address each other respectfully In a common sense way, it has to be like, I'm gonna burn your damn house down. Yeah, I'm gonna burn your house down. And it'd be like, sir, you inside the house. I don't care. I'll burn myself up with you in the house. Come on, man. That's too much. That's too much. Come on now. Some folks don't have the sense to be ashamed. They really don't. And so my whole point of doing this thing was, I was talking on this panel about money, and I was saying, that pays like 200,000 a year, right? Like, we were talking about beach houses, we were talking about real estate, and it was about the beach houses in North Carolina. So the beach house in North Carolina, oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Okay, I'm sorry, thank you. Y'all know I got ADHD. Come on, help me out. All right, Elena said, "Wait, Eric, you tell us about straight." So my cousin had two girlfriends, okay, and if she ever sees this, I apologize, right? He had two girlfriends, and and one girlfriend she was just, she just rough around the edges. That's all. And she was also a cop. He's a cop. She was a cop. Just one of those little things, right? And she was just very tomboyish and rough on the edges. This other woman is also a cop, but she is very feminine. Like, she just sundresses and nails, and she just was a feminine girl cop. And we asked it, but I'm gonna just go there. Y'all gonna have to pray for me, because I need Jesus. Okay, I need it on the inside. The other girl that was super feminine, she's a butterface. Everything looked good but her face. And we were like, that tomboy girl is real pretty in the face. She just tomboyish. And he said, yeah, but I can't teach her to be a lady. Now, at the time, I thought, well, that's just silly. That's just silly. Now, he don't went on to marry this girl that's very feminine. So, Lord forgive me. I apologize about calling her butterface. She's very, very nice lady. Okay. Very nice lady. So, Lord forgive me for that. Right. But in those moments, you want to tell people that sometimes a little sugar is better than having shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we all need a little polish. We need a little buff. We need a little adjustment. We need an alignment. We need someone to speak to us to get it right. That was the point of this story. And I felt like our family really liked the tomboyish one, and felt like if he just gave her a little conversation, she could have been better. Right? And so what happens is, when we can't even have discussions to help you be polished, to polish you a little bit, that we lose what's our society. Right? Okay, we can't even polish you a little bit. We can't have a conversation. Okay, that's when we lose. So that was the whole point of this. We don't want a society where we're the king of the ashes, where I'm going to tear you down so that I lift myself up, because that doesn't work. Because guess what happens? People don't want to deal with you no way. They be like, well, damn, I don't want to deal with her. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. You've been in the airport, you've been out in these streets, you've been at the grocery store. Listen. If I'm wearing something inappropriate, I want one of my friends to help me help myself not look like I'm out here wrestling in a tiny wrestling suit. I'd love my friends to love me enough to correct me to do better. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Correct me. No, he got married after that, though. There were, it's different. It's different. I know I need Jesus. Pray for me. I need Jesus on the inside. I need to be a better person, but I can't help it. Oh yeah, y'all cracking me up in here. Listen, they don't be watching my channel. People don't, like, I'm telling y'all think I'm joking. See, and this is part of what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Right? This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. That this is the internet. This is the internet. This is the internet, and people will say anything on this thing, and like, they forget that I can fly to you and I can touch you. I can fly to you and put hands. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I can't tell the whole story, but somebody who's a famous speaker came to Dallas, and somebody almost put hands on him. And if it wasn't for the people in Dallas going, hey man, don't do that. Don't put hands on him. That's inappropriate. We don't want to be on the scene like that for Dallas. They'd have put hands on him. And that's how burn it all it is, that a famous speaker would come to your city And the thuggernauts of your city would be like, well, we're going to put hands on that person. That's crazy. That's crazy. We can talk. We have words. We can use words. We don't have to act like this. There you go. Everybody wants to be the finished product. Everybody wants to get to the end. And like, people are going to make mistakes in business and in life. And I can tell you this right now, bro. I'm in Austin and I'm seeing people literally, like, this one company, it's a beer company. Well, it's a cider company. They made a crappy cider. It went away. They came back this year. They got another cider. They got some more people to invest in their cider company. And now they all over Instagram. Yeah, try this Texas cider. And they get an HEB. And I'm not even hating. I'm like, good for you. You learned. You had a problem. The first product sucked. Nobody liked it. It tasted funky. Now you redid your stuff and you improved. And that's the real thing about like real life business. That you can get off this man's internet and go have a real life business. You know what I mean? Like, and eventually I'll do a video. AO1 come to town. Y'all can see it. I took over this man's convenience shop, right? In a part of a sale. And y'all see more of it. Y'all will see some of it in the future here coming up. And, you know, this is where I talk about the real money, slow money, fast money kind of thing. Dude's got Western Union in the shop. He got U-Haul in the shop. He got just a combination of things going on. And we go, hey, man, what's the problem? This store's making $240,000 a year, you know, after expenses. I think it's like maybe like 50,000 expenses. I mean, at the end of the day, it makes 200K plus, right? And he like, oh, I thought I had faster money. We looking around at the shop like, what did you think you was gonna make $1 million a year off a shop? No, I mean, you're gonna need 5, 6, 7 shops for that. Like this is reasonable, right? So there's some guys that are in the investment group I'm in out of San Antonio for apartments, and they're wanting to sell their UPS stores. And so I'm sitting there like, oh my God, they want to sell their UPS stores. And I'm listening. And at the end of the day, they don't never have to step foot in their UPS store. They attend these like once a quarter meetings or whatever. They have like a manager and 2 part-time people or something to that effect. Like a manager and a 40-hour person and a half-time person. They never go in the store. They never have to be there. They have to mail a thing. At the end of the year, the store kind of makes $80,000 to $85,000 after everything's said and done and paid for. They were mad about that because for some reason they thought it should be making 250,000, you know, big bangs off a UPS store, a tiny UPS store. And when you talk to people, what they don't realize is we have the internet hyping everybody up that everything ought to make $1 million. And if it don't make $1 million, it's not worth doing it. And that's insane. That's really insane. That's like really doesn't make sense. And this is where, again, we have to start teaching people where, okay, so the business made 250,000 or made 400,000. That's still a good business. Like that's arrogance and ego to think, well, I should be making $1 million. If it's not something that don't make $1 million, no, you shouldn't. Right? And so this is the real, this is what I'm seeing where we have a lot of people who are like, I'll burn everything down because it's not going my way. And that's not normal, y'all. That's not normal. Do you know what I'm saying? No, man, I can't. The Thuggernauts was coming over there to beat him up, and the people at the thing had to be like, come on, man, don't do Dallas like that. That's embarrassing. Don't be out here trying to beat this man up. Do that. Come on now. You know, don't do that. And that's why I carry the pew pew pew, because I'm not a fighter, baby. I'll just shoot you in the leg and call it a day. And when they take me to court, I'll be like, I was terrified for my life that this Thuggernaut was going to try to attack me. You know what I'm saying? So again. I mean, it just, you know what I'm saying? People, there you go. Again, people, lifestyle creep. Yeah, a lot of the stuff gets up on people where they aren't being realistic. Do you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, and to kind of patch it up in the nicest way possible, you're not going to be invited to every event. You're not going to be invited to every party. You should not even have enough ego to be like, I feel like they should have reached out and called me. For what? Are they your friends? Again, I told y'all, I correct myself all the time. Like, people come to Austin, I'll be feeling some type of way they don't call me. But I be like, hey, they're not here for me. They're not here for you, Otis. They're here doing their own thing. And you have to really check yourself. And you have to really go, if the average person in America, if 76% of working Americans, which is 150 million people, make $30,500 a year, and somebody come to you and they make 250,000 and you say that's not enough, man, come on now. Come on now. We getting far away from reality when we start saying stuff like that because it doesn't make sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that all this internet that we can go on the internet and we could be whoever we want to be on the internet. A lot of that's wrapping up in September to March, and I mean that. You know, I'm doing those trucking videos trying to let y'all know like they're changing legislation. So I had 3 podcast interviews today, and I was on a podcast interview with people from Canada, and I was saying, yeah, you know, our trucking insurance is going to be $2 million, and they laughed because they're like, ours is already 2 million. What do you mean? And I was like, well, it's going to be 2 million. That's really hard for people, you know, because a guy or girl that's going to only have $5,000 down to start their insurance, they're going to need 10K. And they looked at me like, well, don't they have savings? Don't y'all have savings in America? And I started laughing, and I really wanted to tell them, no, we're Americans. We're so arrogant that we'll leap out and jump without enough money. Do you know what I'm saying? We'll jump out and be like, hey, we ain't got no money, but hey, I'm going to do it anyway. And that's what catches us a lot of time. Now, sometimes it works. That's a very big American thing, confidence, when people don't believe in your ideal. But a lot of times it's from people being arrogant and don't want to listen to instruction. I cannot tell y'all how many phone calls I've gotten from people who have a truck sitting in the dirt for 6-7 months. And like, hey, Eric, I just want to call you. Can you give me some help? Why didn't you call me on month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5? Now you got this truck that's going to need a tune-up, going to need somebody to drive it 100 miles to make sure it's straight. You're going to need more assistance now because you decided to wait because you were arrogant. The easiest thing you can do is buy the truck. That's the easiest part, right? The easiest thing you can do is start the YouTube channel. The hard part is being consistent and telling people where to go and calls to action and being consistent. Starting the YouTube channel is easy. It's the consistency that's hard. It's that factor that people don't want to address is hard. So this burn it all mentality and again, that comes from scarcity, right? Like if she has something I want, I'm not going to be able to get it. No, honey, I believe every time I see any friend that's getting married or has kids, I'm like, oh man, Lord, I'm so excited for them. I'm so happy for them. It's like a part of their story. I'm like pumped up because I also know, guess what? He has something in store for me. Right? And you're talking to people out here, unfortunately, that they think there's nothing in store for them unless they take it from you. And that's, woo, honey, that's some therapy session. Okay, that's a therapy session. This like, you ever heard Lord of the Rings, one crown to rule them all kind of thing? Like, you ain't got to kill everybody else out here to have the crown. Like, that's crazy. And that's where I want people to really get into the real world of things. That you can turn off this man's internet and have a whole dang on business. It's easier on the internet. It's faster on the internet. It's lovely out here on the internet. It's welcoming. But this ain't the end all be all. Right? And we've proven time and time again, if you're in any of my classes, Rise 20% YouTube class, we've talked about cancel culture. It don't work. All it does is make you more famous. It don't work. Guess what? Now people Google your name. Prime example. I talk about this often. Steve Harvey. When Steve Harvey messed up on that girl name, boy, they was roasting him like pickles and salad. They were just roasting him left and right. They were roasting him like peanuts. And guess what it did? It made Steve Harvey so famous. They extended his contracts on other stuff, and he was able to turn around and buy a percentage of the Miss America pageant, like as a minority stake owner. So again, something y'all think you're gonna do or tear somebody down or I'm gonna get them canceled. I'm gonna destroy them. You sound crazy. All you've done now is make this person famous because what y'all don't realize is there's these little pockets all over the internet where y'all will send me emails of somebody pay, oh, Erica, what you think about this person? And I will literally respond to y'all, or Enrique will respond, well, I'll forward it to Erica or whatever. My life. I'm learning about them because you just sent them to me. Because that's how vast and wide and big the internet is. We don't have to act like we're fighting over the same 200 people. This isn't a knife fight at the corner bodega. This is the internet, right? And we can go turn our attention and our time and our energy to learning, improving ourselves, getting better, and helping others and serving people. Like that's how powerful this internet is, that we can serve each other and help people. There you go. Listen, her appliance warehouse friends only net 50K. Now somebody gonna be like, well, I wouldn't work it for 50K, but they own their own business, right? Like for me, it'd be too little, but again, for people who, I mean, again, you got to think about it. The average American's only making 30K a year. So they have a franchise that after everything's said and done, they get 50K. People need to follow a blueprint. Yeah, it really is. And when you talk to people, and that's the thing, you get into comparison mode, right? You make healthy six figures, but be like, why are you making a mill? Why? Maybe you're not, maybe that's not in your lane. Stay in your lane so you can keep improving yourself, educating yourself, and having a better business and a better product. There you go. To destroy the world if they can't rule it. I mean, I would, I've seen that. I think more, yeah, in America. I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much like the South, especially. If we can't have it the way we want it, we'll burn that down. We don't care. We'll burn it down. This is true. Listen, everybody not getting the same blessing. Everybody not everybody not getting the same children. Everybody not getting the same husband. Everybody not getting the same wife. There's something I laugh at when this guy was like, I ain't dating no single moms. And some of these people talking mom as a single mom. You sound crazy. Uh, what's his name? Kevin on stage. Would have never known it. Kevin on stage dad was a military man who married his mom who had 3 kids. And he talks about a man like, hey, this is my dad. Because that's the only dad they know, right? Effectively, what I'm trying to say. And so these things that people say are so outlandish that they're really just for the internet. They're not for real life, right? And what scares people, and I told y'all, Kwame Brown was like, you got to realize you can't fight with somebody with nothing to lose, right? Because he got his own business, he's got his own farm, he's got his own contracts for other stuff, and so you out here acting up, and he don't care because he's not gonna lose anything. He's not on TV or on a podcast or on a national syndication radio and have to watch his P's and Q's. So you can't argue with people like that. Listen, I love House of Cards, Hunger Games, and Game of Thrones. They are lesson learning shows. And to this day, my favorite thing is chaos is a ladder. You know why? Because that's all there is a ladder to climb in life. Classy climb. That's all there is. You're climbing to be a better you. That's it. And some people refuse to climb the ladder. Why do they refuse to climb the ladder in their personal life? I don't mean the corporate ladder. I mean, why do they refuse to climb the ladder in life? Because if you get better and nobody else around you gets better, guess what? That means you have to go hang out with new people sometimes. That just is what it is. Right? He really did. I hate that because I don't believe that. I believe trucking is one of the rare instances where a man, all you doing is driving, brother, and you're gonna make 100 bands. Tell me where else you gonna make 100,000 driving? Not delivering pizzas all year. Not even with Amazon. You might make 80K, but you ain't making 100 bands. It's those first 2 years in the system we have that make drivers hate trucking because we have these corporations paying them very little. But no, you're not an indentured server. If you are as talented as you say you are, and you can make 100 bands without trucking, go make it. That's right. Here's the thing on that. Like, but that's not how I want my career to be made. Do you see what I'm saying? I really want you to understand that, like, right? So again, Yep, big brother. I mean, again, so my biggest thing I really want you guys to understand from this me doing this show was that burn it all mentality is dangerous. That I'm gonna burn everything down just to think I'm winning. Nobody wants to work with anybody like that. It's toxic. It's dangerous. Again, the thing it made me think of is the hostage negotiators, where they can't even appeal to that person on a human level. They literally have to tell them, hey, we're not going to give that much jail time. You're going to be heard. You're going to be seen. We're going to let you talk to the cameras to get that person to release the hostages, because it's never even about the hostages. They don't even see those people as humans. They literally see them as, well, if I'm going down, I'm gonna take everybody with me and I'm gonna hurt everybody I can. It reminds me of the parable where it's like you can't save a drowning man. You have to wait for them to get tired, because if not, they'll drown themselves and you in the panic of what they're doing. Right. So again, y'all, um, don't let this internet fast money, this internet, everybody's stunting and shining. Don't get wrapped up in that. I really want you to be serious. From September to March, I want y'all to pay attention to the news. I want you to make sure your house is in order. I want to make sure you have your numbers looking right. Right? Everybody out there in Tulum, it ain't you. Don't worry about it. You'll have your time. Um, Everybody out in Cancun and Cabo and doing whatever, like, you don't have to worry about, like, that's not even should be on your radar. Right? You got to make sure your stuff is straight. You got to make sure you're taking care of the people you take care of. I was watching Bigger Pockets podcast earlier, and this man had like lost his family's $5 million inheritance, right? And he literally to every one of his family members said, "Listen, I'm gonna get every one of y'all paid back. It may take me 5 years, but I'm gonna get everybody paid back." And guess what? His family's like, "Okay, cool." And they worked it out, and he literally continued to grow and be better. And now this man owns, I think it's a thousand units of apartments in Arizona. But that's what happens when you literally don't scorch the earth because you think that's going to make you win or something. I don't know what people think. I'm going to burn everybody down. I'm going to tear the house down and I'm going to be the winner. Winner of what? Scorched earth? Nobody wanted to be dealing with you. So again, I just had to do that show. That was my thought. That I'm just getting real tired of seeing it. And, you know, oh, okay. Well, there you go. Remember, Prince Edward County, Virginia closed the entire school system and closed the integrating. Yeah. Wow. It is. It is. I just want you to understand that, like, I try to make this channel educational, informational, learning based, but I also want y'all to really think about it. Like, what kind of society and community do we want to foster out here? And, you know, that's what we want to foster. We want to foster people who are learning and trying to be better and willing to grow businesses and make correction and learn, right? Because it's a lack of exposure, right? It's a scarcity mindset where everybody's like, oh man, I got to get these jobs, or I gotta rob people. I gotta do. People are in Atlanta where it's absolutely abundant with opportunity, and they're breaking in cars and hurting people. If our mission is to expose people to there's better opportunities, we got to be exposing them to better opportunities. So, um, there are drivers who drive safely. So again, this is my little 2 cent, but again, never be too arrogant that you can't learn from other people, and people can't, take you aside and talk to you for 2 seconds, and you go, okay, hey, that was helpful or it wasn't helpful, and you go on about your day. We don't have to burn the community down. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. You already know how people are. We don't have to burn the community down because we're mad. We don't have to be so out of control with our emotions that we're willing to just do anything. That's really my big thing. Okay, thank you, Miss Officer 3333. I appreciate you. I don't know what that means. I hope it don't mean no gang signs or nothing crazy. I'm gonna be shot. But that's my 2 cents. You know what I mean? Again, let people help you get polished. Let people talk to you a minute. Let somebody reach out and touch you a little bit. Because there's a real world out here, and you can cut this computer off and go into it. So, all right, you guys, this is your girl Erica, Classic Climb blog, Classic Climb tour. is going Atlanta, DC. Atlanta is the 21st. DC is the 28th. Y'all are wearing Atlanta and DC out. I appreciate all of that love. I appreciate everybody. I'm gonna get ready to go come see. And there's just a lot of opportunity out here. So I don't want y'all to get lost. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So anyways, you guys, this is Erica. Have a good day.